So we're going to talk about the thin rip jig. So many of you may be familiar with the Rockler ones that we've had for some time. And there's some weaknesses in this design. The biggest for me is we're using one connection point for both securing it to the T-slot and making our adjustment. So this is off. Yeah. When you adjust the thin rip jig, you come off of a tooth, come off the high point of a tooth, and then back off whatever you want your thickness to be. And you read that off the back of this scale. So that looks like about a 1/16 to me. That's about a 1/4. The biggest thing is it's reproducible. There's a single bearing in there, and then you would tighten this down out here and make your cuts and move the fence progressively in for each cut that you make. But both its securing to the table and its adjustment is a function of this one hole down. And if your material is high, more than about a 1/4 inch high, you've got some variability in where that's going to go. So we've replaced them with this Woodpeckers design. It goes into the slot from the front. You've got to index it as opposed to just drop it in. And uses these two fixtures to get yourself down. Same function. It's got the silver nut for the adjustment. It's got two bearings. You want to catch the high point of a tooth with a bearing to get your setting. Tighten that down. Then you can bring it back and fix it to the T-slot. So this is solid to the table now. And when I make adjustments to my thickness, it doesn't affect my position in the table. Those are two completely independent functions. There's a 1/16 inch scale and a millimeter scale with a hairline on it. You can decide whether you trust these measurements or not. That's an individual preference and religion from my perspective. I think they're fine from a reference perspective. That is, if I take note of where my hairline is now, on the millimeter scale, I'm one to the right of the big one. Here I'm just shy of a 16. Exactly. And so, I mean, I think the biggest thing here is reproducibility in the cuts you make. You may make some fine adjustments and not trust the scales at all. Woodpeckers would tell you that you should zero this scale every time you use it, but that would involve us having a wrench of very small properties, dimensions and size, floating around in a drawer someplace and moving these 4 cap screws every time we use the tool. And we're not going to, it just doesn't make any sense. So for me, it's about, I find a reference point and then I move relative to the reference point on the tool. 2 bearings, so we get more stability in terms of height. It's probably 3/4 inch high to the top of the bearing and solid to the table. Yeah, I'll have to edit that piece out. So let's see, we're going to go for, I don't know, about like that.
So how close should you get it to the blade?
Well, so this is the old standard rule of fences and feather boards and multiple fences, and so we don't want a pinch point. So I want the trailing edge of this board not to be touched. I got to be clear of the blade. So I'm always south of the blade with a feather board or a device like this. I use this position in the fence as my go past, but I try to be at the beginning of the plate. But that's personal. That's just the way I set up a feather board or anything else. I know I'm an inch clear of where the blade might possibly be if I'm south of the insert. You don't want it, clearly we can't be up here for so many reasons. I mean, we've got metal, table, and blade on a saw stop that's $200 to your cam cart. I mean, it's just that simple. And I would caution you when making the adjustments for this. I told you to pick up a tube, make sure the tool is cold, that your green light's not on, because you don't want to set the cartridge off. So if this thing was up, it's only supposed to go off when the blade's spinning, but if the tool is up and enabled and I short the blade to the table, I don't know what it's gonna do. So make sure the light's off, and then you know you're safe, right? When you go through this operation of catching a tooth with the because it's metal to metal at that point, right?
This video was produced in a closed shop environment. Some safety devices or guards may have been removed only for the purpose of clarity in this video. When using this tool or any tool in the shop, always keep safety devices and guards in place and practice safe operation.